All right. What's up, man? First of all, what's your name and what's your gimmick? We'll start that way.
Okay, all right, let's go with the gimmick. Yes, my stage name that has been mine since 2003 is Don Joker. I come from Glens Falls, New York, which is the 518, actually where Hacksaw Jim Duggan factoid is, that's his hometown. So, and when I was young, ICP was the hugest influence for me when it was metal and hip hop because of the honesty and the writing that inspired me and made me want to actually get into music. I mean, Ozzy, seeing him on MTV, I was like, I want to do that for a living. But I was 11, and ICP's creativity, and the way that they came up with things and the way it was so different. Plus, I mean, I've been down since '94. And I grew up with gay parents in the 90s, which was not cool. So we experienced a lot of hate, death threats. Like, my parents didn't hide it. They were loud and proud. They were on the fucking March on Washington in '93. And yeah, and so we grew up with that. I grew up being bullied, and I tried to chameleon myself into different groups. I started off being goth and stuff like that. I tried to be preppy and all that shit. And then Juggalos were the ones who accepted me for who I was. Did not give a shit what my family unit was. They're like, you got parents? Yeah. Do they love you? Yeah. And who fucking cares? Come join us. And we were scattered in my area. Like, I mean, we had towns like Hudson Falls and stuff like that where we had a bunch of homies that were around, and we would get together. Like, we'd gather at Crandall Library and Burger King down the road. We're the reason, I'm telling you, no bullshit. We are the reason why Glens Falls got gang task force funding. I'm telling you.
Not to brag.
No, not. But when I first started, it was me and a group of guys. It was my friends that I grew up with since elementary school. We were called the Terrible J's because we all had J names. There was Jared. We called him J-Rod. JoJo. I was Josh, but we had like 5 friends named Josh. So they're like, dude, no. And my obsession with clowns started when I was young and watched the 1989 Batman movie and saw Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I'm like,
so it starts with Joker.
Ooh. So that was my obsession. So they're like, okay, Joker. That's it right there. The Don hadn't come into play yet.
So this is your first gathering?
This is my very first gathering.
So you're very excited, I must assume. What's the one thing, if you could pick one thing about this gathering that you're the most excited to see for your first time?
Oh my God. Well, obviously ICP, but everybody says that. But I really like King Gordy. Like, he's been on my bucket list to see. You know. Mercules, I've been following him since I've been seeing his freestyles and stuff like that. I think he is fucking fresh as hell. God, Static X, like I said, I'm a metalhead on top of everything. So to see Static X, even though it's not Wayne Static, rest in power, my friend, but you know, it's still.
I think it's going to be a special set because I hear it's one. The gathering was one of Wayne's last shows.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it
was. That is on record.
So yes. I think that is going to be a really special set.
I mean, I'm definitely going to cry tears of joy. I'm pretty sure. Like, I got here and I was instantly christened in cotton candy Fago.
You got baptized,
and we got video of it. I'm like this, just embracing it because, like I said, I have like serious psychiatric issues. I am on paper with schizophrenia, with auditory hallucinations, ADHD, severe PTSD, social anxiety, believe it or not, which I don't feel at all here, which is nuts. And so yeah, it's been a freaking tough ass. I'm been clean and stable for 2 years and 8 months. So ever since I put the focus on me and took care of myself and took care of the problem and got back into my art and put my rage, my anger, my violence, my thirst for blood on paper instead of on humans. And that's why this is why this means so much, because I could never afford to have the gathering. That's why we had at Tilly's nightclub in Glens Falls, we had Juggalo night. I threw that. And, you know, we had like maybe 30 homies came, but it was so fun. We did the Nedden game. That was the first time I ever did. Back to my friends getting to my buddy Jared and I and JoJo, we skipped school the day that the Wraith came out, Shangri-La. and we went back to my house and we listened to it, and we looked at each other like, why couldn't we do this? And we're called Terrible Jays. There's a name. Like, well,
almost on. By the way, I wanted to say that name reminds me of the JJ Boys, the original, ICP rap gimmick.
Yeah. Even that's before Dog Beats. I know. I got my history down.
Yeah, that reminds me of JJ Boys.
Yes, it's and that was like, yeah, why can't we do this? Paint ourselves up, come up with our own designs, and But then, literally a week to the day later, my buddy Jared was in a car accident that ended up taking his life, which ended up with my buddy JoJo completely checking out, to the point where years later he was so shook by his death that it eventually ended his life. He took a muzzle loader to the face.
Jesus Christ, man.
So, and then
thank you, bro.
So I am the only remaining Terrible J out of the group that exists, and so I was like, you know what? In memory of them, I'm gonna do this. And I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted to do it with a group. I mean, I was still very green. I sucked. Okay, let's just be completely honest. My shit sucked. And I can admit it. And, because I was green and a lot of people didn't want to teach me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. We had like a couple of venues in Glens Falls, like Cafe Luna's and the Lagoon. And I mentioned the Juggalo night to them. I'm like, could we do this? They like, no, get out. Like, and that was literally what they would either laugh at me or be like, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you, bitch. So, but Tilly's gave me a shot and said, yeah, do it. And so I just wanted to get together with everybody. I hated how separated we were. And ICP encouraged back then, have your mini gatherings.
Yeah.
If you can't make it, do it on your own.
Yeah, do it in your own area.
And I'm big on the DIY. And I've my career, I actually opened up for 2 Live Crew in Erie, Pennsylvania. I've been able to travel, but like I said, I was green. I was learning basically on the job training and making mistakes and learning from them, which, mistakes are good because then you're like, okay, now I can improve and I become that much more dangerous when I wake up and go,
yes,
okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's taken me a very long time to get to that point, and so I am so beyond fuck it. Like this kicks the shit out of if you were to frickin' have Halloween with Christmas sprinkled on it. This is amazing. The feeling inside really is like I feel home. This is home. This is and the only other place where I felt that was when me and my ex-wife went to Ireland for our honeymoon. So, this is amazing. So, and it took a lot of hard work, and I'm gonna fucking enjoy every goddamn moment.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yes.
Thank you for talking.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Thank you for listening to my ass.
That was a great interview, man. No, thank you so much. That's like the kind of shit.
We need to share our stories because you never know. Because I was that kid sitting in my room alone, listening to the Joker cards and being like, "There's nobody else that thinks like me. There's nobody that can be this fucked." Which we're not fucked. That's the thing. It's like I tell my parents get it. They're not big fans, but they're my mother's been my hugest support, and they're like, we get it. If you scratch the surface, you see what it's really about. It's a flash to get your attention, and then only the people who get it and feel it
follow it.
Example, motherfucking A. So